So Starbucks is the latest company to take aim at remote work.
This week, the coffee chain announced that all corporate leaders will have to relocate to Toronto or Seattle within 12 months, or they can take an exit package. This mandate is in addition to the 4 days a week in-office policy that will take effect in October. Starbucks is just following suit with companies like RBC, BMO, also Scotiabank. They are requiring employees to return to the office 4 days a week in September.
So joining us live now for more on the future of work is Professor Catherine Connolly from the DeGroote School of Business at McMaster University. Catherine, thanks so much for joining us. Maybe you can start by telling us why companies are finally starting to push this mandate to return to the office.
So there's a few things going on here. So on one hand, they have long wanted to be able to do this for a few reasons. Mostly about creating a corporate culture with more collaboration and more innovation. But they've been trying to do this for a while and just haven't been able to. And that's because they really like working from home. And so now with the unemployment rate creeping up, we're on the edge of a recession. Now, finally, companies are being able to make these demands and maybe make them stick.
Mm-hmm. And this can be challenging, right? Because we have the employer saying, this is what we're doing. You kind of have no choice, or I guess you can consider a package if that's an option. What could an employer do to make this transition a little smoother, especially for someone who maybe has been working at home for the last 4 years?
Yeah, so companies really need to pay attention to the work environment. So you might recall when the federal government was trying to force Ottawa public servants to work from the office, and they were complaining, well, I don't have a chair in my office, and I have to share a desk, and when I come to work here, nobody else is there. There's no point. So companies need to very carefully address these concerns. And sometimes when I hear of an executive saying, oh, and we are all going to work in an office, I think that executive probably has a really nice office with a really nice chair and maybe their own plants and window and all this stuff. They're not in a cubicle. And so companies need to think about this physical environment that the workers are in to make them want to be there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, incentive always helps when it comes to going to work every day. Catherine, what are employees' options if they say, hey, look, I've adapted to this new lifestyle of working from home. I'm efficient at it. I don't want to go back to the office. Do they have any legal rights from an employment law standpoint?
Yeah, so legally, not really, unless they have a specific accommodation that's related to maybe their family status or a disability. Interestingly, before the pandemic, this idea of working from home was one of the more frequently requested accommodations. And companies were always saying, no, absolutely not, completely impossible for you to work from home. And then we had the pandemic and everybody worked from home.
Yeah.
And so it's possible for people to be extremely productive working from home. A lot of people say that they can focus more, they can get more work done. But the company gets to choose some things about how work is completed, and where you do that work is usually one of those things that they get to choose.
What do you think the risk could be for a big company saying this is kind of your only choice, especially if someone does feel that they are quite effective at work, they're showing, the proof that they're doing the work during the regular hours? Is there a risk that they could see a number of people walk away and look for other opportunities where that remote job is there? Absolutely. And so right now we have a global market for work. And so a company that has great workers, they could be working for that company. They could cross the street and work for a competitor. They could work for a competitor in another province or elsewhere in the world. Just because they're now remote, they can work from anywhere. That said, many of the competitors are also expecting people to work from the office now. Yeah. So as long as everybody in the industry does this in lockstep, then employees might have fewer options than they might have had before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was a time when a lot of companies were dangling, the option of remote work in an effort to attract workers. But if they're all kind of leveling the playing field, then it kind of makes it, fair play for everyone here. Okay, Catherine Connolly from McMaster University, appreciate your time and thoughts this morning. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.